Okay, it's 11 a.m. on the dot. So let's do a little introduction and let's talk some shit on YouTube. Y'all see that? New shit too. This is by me. Alright? Trying to figure out how to open this motherfucker up. This for later. This is for now. Hey. What Trump said?
Everything woke turns to shit, okay?
Hey. Alright, man, enough of the bullshit. Jersey Judah. I was going to say Red Pill Party podcast, but this isn't the podcast. I've been focusing on the podcast, the Red Pill Party podcast. You guys can check it out on Anchor, and it's available on Spotify. Now, I've been very hesitant to jump on here because the only way that I can jump on here and do a live video on the go is on my computer. Can't do it on the phone because I need 1,000 subscribers. Pretty sure I'm not going to get that. But at the very least, I can use YouTube as just a gateway into my podcast, which is, once again, the Red Pill Party podcast. And yes, we talk about things that most women would consider toxic. It's part of the game. Right? It's 11:03 a.m. It is a Friday for me. And, I'm kicking back. It's the 4th. And it's like I'm going back into work today. Oh, it's Friday. It's Friday. That doesn't mean shit. Because I have to go back into work the next day, being a Saturday at 9 a.m. You make sure my sounds is up. I got to go back to this fucking job tomorrow at 9 a.m. But it's all good. I'm chilling. I'm 33 years of age. I think I said that last time. If not, I'm going to say it this time. And it's funny how things actually work, right? Like, a lot of people know or may know some people from high school. Matter of fact, I'm about to light this joint. A couple people from high school that you may know that at the time they were popular. If it was a guy, he was the ladies' man. He was around all the women. You know what I mean? And you see those people today, and they're like shells of what they used to be, of who they used to be. And then you may find a guy who beforehand didn't have anything going on for himself. He was considered a nerd. He was considered the class clown. All of a sudden, you start seeing niggas making power moves, and it hits a little different. I might have to. You ever heard of Ralphie the Plug? I would play him, but this nigga's like a major rapper. I'm not trying to get my shit copywritten. But Ralphie the Plug, do my Ralphie the Plug dance every time I hit some good chronic. Oh my God. I might have to put some, hold up. Hey, if y'all don't know who Ralphie the Plug is, this isn't Ralphie the Plug, this is my shit, by the way, but hey, that nigga be in there doing the Pisces dance, like this. He be in there like, niggas is shot, bro. Oh shit, niggas is shot out. Anyway, I did an episode last night. Matter of fact, I'm not trying to hotbox my vehicle. You feel me? I did an episode last night on how women use manipulation as a weapon, because it's been proven, of course, that men are more dominant than women when it comes to physicality. So women have become more strategic. They've become more organized. They're able to use manipulation tactics to get what they want. And that's their weapon. Now, a lot of women, they can be offended by that. A lot of women, they're going to agree. Even though they may dislike me and what I'm saying, they're agreeing. Whether she feeds off of your strengths or she feeds off of your weaknesses, a woman's, her thing is manipulation. I use terms here. I have to use terms on YouTube that are more appropriate for the modern day woman. I've been thinking, instead of using the H, or should I say, instead of using WHOR3, I didn't spell it technically, I'm going to use the term s'more. She's a s'more. See how I did that? And instead of the S mutt word, the S mutt word, we're going to use smoothies. Yes, smoothies. That's what we're calling modern day whorehounds. Now, YouTube, I'm only doing that the first time just to give an example. We got to speak in code here, okay? So I'm doing this episode. It was a good episode, man. I want to give a shout out to Replicant Fish. Matter of fact, since I'm on YouTube, give a shout out to Replicant Fish. Shout out to Hammerhand. Shout out to Taylor the Fiend. Shout out to Thinking Man's Templar. Shout out to Black Ram 313. We'll even give some love to Donovan Sharp, Rolo Tomasi, even Fresh and Fit. All of the men who are participating in this space that we're in. Because I get insight and I get information from every single one of those people if I've mentioned. Now, I don't have to agree with everybody, and I don't have to agree with somebody 100% in order to be cool with them. In fact, like, I'm cool with people that, for the most part, they don't agree about anything that I say politically. They don't agree about anything that I say politically. But the one thing that they can't deny, or the one thing that they can't say, is that I'm bullshitting or I'm capping. Can't say that about me. Negative. Can't say that. It's one thing they can't say about me. They want to. 2018, let's give you a quick story. Because I'm talking on here like as if I've been on here for a while. And I usually do all of my talking and ranting on the podcast, the Red Pill Party podcast, on Spotify and on Anchor. 2018. Matter of fact, let's just jump back. Let's go into the time machine. Let's go back to 2015 / 2016, or really the end of 2015, the beginning of 16. The elections was going on. Trump was going against Hillary Clinton. And I remember this because every person who was never political, a person who has no political bone in their body, all of a sudden cared about politics. All of a sudden, y'all niggas gave a fuck about politics. Now, to be fair, I myself, I've drunken the blue raspberry Democratic Kool-Aid back in 2008. Voted for Barack Hussein Obama just because he's black. He black. Shout out to Jesse Lee Peterson. And it was a very eye-opening moment in my life. That's why I can never tell people that I hate Obama. I have a great deal of respect for Obama, not for really the right reasons. He's one of those guys that men can look at and learn how to articulate himself in the same way. He was a smooth walker and even smoother talker, but a lot of things that he was doing, it was not happening, okay? Barack Hussein Obama did more for the Rainbow Tribe than the Black Tribe. Y'all know this. Don't sit back and look at me. Oh, this guy's a coon. I'm the right one to do that shit with, okay? I'm the coon. I am the right one to do that with. I'm the right one to do that with. I'm not just your everyday black conservative. In fact, I just have conservative views. I don't really consider myself anything. But in 2015, beginning of 2016, everybody's talking about the politics. Everybody's talking about, what's going to happen to our country when somebody like Donald Trump gets into office. Everybody was worried. Nobody had that same energy for Hillary. I'm like, nigga, what the fuck? This bitch ain't no archangel. Come on, guys. Fucking with the Clintons. You fucking with an empire. So they're backed by blood, oil, and money. Versus Trump, a stingy, greedy, white American that I respect because he's up front. He did more for this country than Barack Obama did for 8 fucking years, right? That's just it. For black people, Donald Trump did more for black people than Barack Hussein Obama did with 8 fucking years. But instead of you guys thinking, you guys just go off of emotions. And I'm disappointed in a lot of the men because they acted the same way that these bitches do. Donald Trump was the president, and everybody was saying Donald Trump was this representation of toxic masculinity. And if you go back to my archives on my podcast, one of my first episodes was talking about Donald Trump being the representation of toxic masculinity. And of course, it was satire. Of course. If Donald Trump is the representation of toxic masculinity, we need more toxic presidents. We need more toxic presidents. If that's the case, if you guys are telling me that you're pointing at this man, Donald J. Trump, as a card-carrying white supremacist, and all of the progress within that 4 years was made in this country before CV-19 came. And I still believe that CV-19 was a political strategy to get one person out of office. This outcry did not exist when SARS was here. It did not exist when the H1N1 was here, which was swine flu. None of this propaganda and None of these scare tactics took place then. In fact, people weren't even wearing masks at that time. All of a sudden, you got the orange racist guy, and I'm being facetious. He comes in the office. This shit, there wasn't even, if people were paying attention, there's a documentary, I believe, it's probably not on Netflix anymore, but it was a documentary talking about these scientists overseas. And these scientists were really extraordinarily, disturbingly good at biological weapons, right? And what they were talking about was how either Russia, they mentioned Russia, of course they're going to mention Russia because Russia's bad. Russia's bad, Ukraine's good. Why? I don't fucking know. But that's what they say. They also said that somewhere in China, they could be developing a weapon, a chemical weapon, aka a virus, that could transmute, I forgot how they said it, that can be brought overseas, which ended up happening, did it not? And this would happen in 2019, 2020. Well, isn't that something? COVID-19, COVID-19, COVID 2019. Use your fucking heads, yo. See, I'm cool with being by myself with this still intact. I'm cool with that. On the relationship shit, I just wanted to go on something that was a little bit outside of what people would consider red pill or political red pill, just to mix things up. I get tired of guys, and I'm not going to mention names. I get tired of guys coming on here stating that we as men within this manosphere only talk about women. And I'm like, that's absurd. In fact, on my podcast, I mention a lot of women, especially the women who's out here putting the similar content together. Jennifer Molesky, Nola Girl 504, Pink Book Lessons. These are women that's doing the same thing. Now, a lot of guys may have problems with these women talking about the same thing, but they have a right to speak their fucking mind. If you're going to allow a bitch to tell you that men are trash, why not allow a woman to say otherwise? Why be upset for a woman who's actually willing to stand up for the men out here who's actually doing something? You're mad. A lot of you guys are mad because you're not the ones doing it. And you claim to be one of those people who do it. But these women come out here, they outsmart you when it comes to talking about what's going on in their nature. Why would a man not listen to a woman talk about her nature? A lot of us claim to know the nature of women. Anyway, 2016, with the election, comes into play. I didn't vote. Now, if I knew what I knew today, I would have obviously voted. But I was very skeptical. Like most black people, or really all black people at that point, when you hear somebody like Donald Trump. And this is how it started. People wanted to know, people always ask, when did Trump become so hated by black people? I'm going to answer this. No, it had nothing to do with the buildings that he was making or the discrimination that he had against people on his property. Nothing to do with that. Matter of fact, the only time people knew about that was after Trump became president and they tried to dig up all of this grabbing by the pussy and white supremacist allegations. Because that's all the 4 years has been. It's been a smear campaign. When Barack Obama got questioned for his United States citizenship, when he got questioned for his United States citizenship by Donald Trump, that's when Trump became the hated white man. It's very easy. Every black person in this country was infatuated. Is it? Fascinated. Let me just say that. They were very fascinated by Barack Obama. He was the representation of change and hope, right? none of that hope or none of that change really affected us. It just gave us the mindset of, hey, that black man's in office. That's what's up. Did that black man do everything? Did that black man do anything for us? No. Negative. Did not happen. Trump. Oh, he's racist. Okay. PPP loans? The stimulus package? Y'all niggas was out here balling, cashing those checks. Y'all weren't sending them back. Y'all weren't doing that. Oh, Trump sending us a check? Oh, I don't support Trump. I'm sending the check back. Get the fuck out of here. Stop the cap. Stop the bullshit. But that's the thing. See, we as a people, we can pick and choose who's racist and who isn't. Our problem is we look at somebody like Joe Biden as someone who's not a racist. Like, you're telling me Joe Biden is a person you would have rather had in office than Trump? Oh, Trump's a Republican. That's why you guys don't like him. It all makes sense. Because if Donald Trump was a fucking Democrat, he would be the most popular president. I don't want to hear nothing. If Donald Trump ran as a Democrat, now, of course, certain things would change. It would be bad. I would probably still like Trump because I think Trump's an asshole. I like assholes. Pause. But you get it. It's because he's a Republican. Oh, shit. Now it all makes sense. See, Bush fucked up the Republicans really bad with black people. I'm going to say that. A lot of people may not understand what I'm saying. The older generation, I'll give you an example. The older generation will say the same about Ronald Reagan, is what I'm saying about George W. Bush. He really fucked it up when it came to the support from black people. And it really caused the friction to reoccur from previous times and in previous eras with the Republican Party and black people. Okay. Now, the origin, I'm only talking about the origin, was essentially one and the same. The Republican Party was founded by slaves, freed slaves, and whites who wanted to abolish slavery. Those guys were the ones that kickstarted it. So if we, as black people, are trying to be so progressive or whatever the fuck you want to consider it, why not take back the party that we technically started? Just saying. Why go back to the plantation of the Democratic Party, the same party that was involved with the creation of the Ku Klux Klan, the same party that were the rebels, the same party that were the Dixiecrats during the Civil War? Why would you go back to that plantation? Inquiring minds want to know. So when you have more conservatives, or worse, a black conservative who's not on here to have any arguments, we can debate. I'm not here to argue, go back and forth with someone. If you believe what you say, then fine. You know, my thing is, like I said, 2016 came, Trump won. I was like, damn, this is weird. Like a lot of us, we thought Hillary was going to win. I wasn't excited about that. So when Trump won, I didn't really see the blessing out of it yet. I'm like, yo, this nigga is a president? Okay. Better than Hillary. Like less than a year, everybody was talking about the racism. You know, he got a problem with, you know, the bullshit. He got he got the problems with Hispanics. He said something about black people. Everybody's like, he's racist. Versus Joe Biden, the person who says, what did he say? He said poor people are just as bright and as intelligent as white people. Y'all didn't see that as, oh, if you have a problem with picking between me and Trump, then you ain't black. Y'all didn't have a problem with that? Really? Fuck you guys. I will separate myself from race. I will separate myself from society. I will separate myself from fucking airheaded, arrogant people. I don't need those people. I'm cool, man. I'm the lone wolf out here. I'm the lone wolf out here. Just in case y'all don't know, when I wake up every morning, I have my alarm clock just to let me know what I'm a part of. I don't care. Y'all can copyright this. I don't give a fuck. Y'all can copyright this. Hey. 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 Where the horns at? Oh. 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 Anyway, I'm a lone wolf, bro. Like I'm a loner. I started off as a loner. I wasn't comfortable with being alone, and so in a lot of ways, I was a loner not by choice. It's by choice. I can't fuck with a lot of people, to be honest with you. But then after a while, something happened. I was more comfortable in being by myself. And because I had productivity throughout the day, I was never just bored saying to myself, oh man, I wish I had this, I wish I had that. I'm too busy working. Like I said, I was gonna podcast this morning, but I said, fuck it. I haven't jumped on YouTube in a while. I don't plan on being on here a lot, but when I come on here, I'm gonna have long videos. I'm gonna have thought-provoking videos. I'm not trying to be like successful at this shit. I don't really like. It's funny. People will say, "Well, you're on YouTube, so isn't your goals to have all these viewers and to have all these subscribers?" No. I just want a digital footprint. So whenever I leave this earth, I have something to leave behind. I don't have kids. I don't. How can I say this without being an asshole? I don't see women, a lot of modern women today, worthy of being mothers of my child. So my legacy is left behind by the podcast and by the videos. That's how I leave my legacy behind. And I'm cool with that. And I remember I talked about this last night, I believe, on the podcast. The Red Pill Party, by the way. And there was a survey. And I think it was middle school students. You probably hear kids right now because I live directly near a playground, which is fine. I don't really care. But the fuck was I even talking about? Oh yeah, there was a survey, and it was middle school students. They asked these middle school students, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" And I think they estimated 80% of those kids said YouTube content creators. And I was like, wow. Because if you think about it, like YouTube, like the YouTube content creators, they're like the drug dealers of today. Meaning what they do, like their influence to the youth is crazy. So instead of niggas wanting to be ball players, niggas would just be YouTube content creators. Or they want to talk about this. They want to talk about art. They want to talk about sports. They want to talk about entertainment. And it made me say to myself, damn, like that's a strong influence on children, a huge influence. And my content is not for kids. Teens, if you're like 16, 17, it's how like a lot of dudes, when they talk about going their own way, MGTOW, right? They'll say that, oh, well, it's great. We get 16, 17-year-olds, 18-year-olds. And I'm like, that's not really that great, is it? Guys who are that young, who feel hopeless when it comes to women, who feel that at such an early age, they have to go their own way. That's good. Is it good for the movement? Or is it good for them? I promote self-development. My idea of self-development in a lot of cases includes solitude of some sort and isolation of some sort. There's a lot of people who hang out with everybody, like they're friends with everybody, so it's like they don't get tired of just being around people 24/7. And for me, that's like weird because even like short term, being around certain people short term is bothersome to me. It's just like, oh. And I'm not like a dickhead. I'm not a complete asshole. I'm not like antisocial. I'm just a man of few words. If there's something meaningful to talk about, I may add a sentence here or there. But I don't just look for conversations with any and everybody. So I already know I can't look at certain dudes.
Really unfriended me on Facebook, man?
Bro, you was coming crazy, bro.
Man, you taking it too far.
You taking it too far, bro. You taking it too far. This nigga, another example. Like people, I don't get how certain people can blatantly disrespect somebody, right? And then see him the next month and be like, hey, it was good. Like, nah. No. Especially dudes that I'm not even cool with like that. We just handle business. We don't politic like that. So of course, if you're gonna say some slick shit to me, like, oh, I can't fuck with you anymore, etc., bro, I'm not gonna fuck with you then. So you get excommunicated. You get blocked in a lot of cases. Phone numbers get blocked. I don't play games. I'm not a revolving door to anybody. And that's what I promote with self-development. Don't be a revolving door for people who only come around when they need you. Then if you're down and out, these niggas disappear. Cut it out. Fuck that. I'm on like a whole different... People who remember me, I had a page that was called the Red Pill Party, and then I turned it into Renegade Red Pill. And in the very beginning, a lot of you guys may remember, dude, I wasn't in a good space. I wasn't in a good headspace. So me going on YouTube was sort of like, it wasn't therapeutic in that sense, but it helped. Me expressing my issues and the things that I was dealing with, it gave me more clarity to be able to confront those issues. So today, you know, I'm making the most money that I'm making. I'm in a car that I saved up a good amount of money for, worked my ass off to get, and I'm not letting anybody, any bitch, any nigga, reap the rewards that I have, and you're not putting nothing to the fucking table. Fuck that shit. Like, Like I said, like dude that just pulled up. He's a comedian. He's a comedian, bro. Like certain people, when you can benefit them, oh yeah, they're gonna always be around you. Right? They're gonna always be around you if they can benefit. The moment that they cannot benefit from you, or the moment that you're not around as much, because God forbid you work, you do what you have to do, all of a sudden, people start talking reckless about you. Oh, this nigga changed, etc. No, I'm working. But that's funny, man. I'm glad I'm recording this while he pulled up. Because if this wasn't recording, I would have said a lot more reckless shit. Best and believe I would have said a lot more reckless shit. Niggas, I say niggas universally too. It's a lot of white niggas out here. A lot of you Caucasoid coons. I'm going to bring that word in. A lot of you Caucasoid coons. Like this guy, Shima, what the fuck? Shima LPI. Is it LPI? Voon Rent. Cool. Whatever that means. Like me, I realized in the past when I was doing these videos, I was at a different point. I was not at a good point in my life, but I was learning more and more about the red pill and about the things that I needed to do to go forward. A lot of guys look at the red pill, it's like, oh, cool, now I know how to talk to women. Whatever, nigga. The red pill reminded me that I had to be the one to provide. These bitches ain't doing shit for me. Besides anything sexual, women ain't doing shit for you as a man. See, this is the comedy where a woman says, well, I can take care of myself. You know what I mean? I have this job, I have this career. The reason why guys don't give a shit is you're not benefiting a man from that. In fact, not only do you not benefit, you become a burden to that man. A fucking burden. Because we know strong and independent is like womanese for weak and problematic at best. Weak and problematic. Weak and problematic. The strong and independent, the educated. Why are these women the most problematic women? I'll tell you why. Because a guy who has a lot of money will fuck with a bum. Meaning, a guy who has a lot of money will date a woman who works at Starbucks, will date a woman who works at McDonald's. You want to know why? Because that man knows that what that bitch is making means nothing to that man. If that guy has enough money to take care of himself comfortably, and he's in that headspace to want to take care of a woman, he automatically knows to do that. A woman doesn't have to tell him, hey, take me out. He knows it. Today, that's different. These smoothies and s'mores out here, burning up everything, smashing anything that's functioning, anything that's breathing for clout, validation, and attention. They've fucked up the dating market. How can you blame men? Look, this is my thing with women. How can you blame men for a fucked up dating for a fucked up dating market when 80% of those men aren't even acknowledged? You're blaming the 20%, sometimes even less. Some people will even say it's the 90-10 rule, where even more men are brought to the realm of nothingness. They are assigned. They're assigned to the land of nothingness, where they're the ones that pedestalize, simp, do anything and everything for some starfish sex, right? But all of a sudden, those guys are the problems. I mean, granted, we got some fucked up men out here. We really do. You know, and I'm not necessarily a model citizen of one myself. I do what the fuck I want when I want. I just don't put my life in jeopardy. I don't put other people's lives in jeopardy. I'm still spiritual. I still believe in a higher power. I don't throw Bibles at people. I don't give people scriptures. I may give people a little game that has a lot of spirituality involved with it. But I'm not here to really choose a side. I am a man. I'm a thinking man, which I'm a threat. I'm a threat to most people. Most people who see me and expect me to act a certain way. I'm a threat to them. And when it comes to women, I'm just more concerned with making money, and I'm not really paying women any mind. Now, there's a lot of guys who will say this, and I'm living proof. I'm going to tell you guys something. It is for people who are currently on the path that I'm on. You ever realize, like, when you actually have a purpose and you don't put these women as a priority, more of them appear? Think about it. Now, a lot of you guys, a lot of you simps, you're still out here pedestalizing these bitches, hoping to get some play. All right. Number one, you should ask yourself, what do you have going on right now? As a man, what do you have going on? Do you have a job? Are you investing? Are you saving? Are you progressing? Are you progressing? Meaning, have you gotten past the physical attraction of a woman? That's a deep question. Have you gotten through the physical attraction of a woman? Now, this doesn't mean you find attractive women ugly. Attractive women are attractive, but they're still women. When you're able to simply put that together, okay, she's really attractive, but she's a woman like this next bitch over here. And I don't say bitch. You guys, you listen to rap. I'm not out here disrespecting these women. They call themselves bitches and hoes 24/7. The fuck am I? I'm just a bum to these bitches anyway. But I will roast y'all. Don't try anything slick. Like I said, I'm not playing around. I roast women. We grow up. Shout out to King Riches, actually. Shout out to King Riches, my nigga from the UK. King Riches, Taylor the Fiend, I already said, and Replicant Fish. Shout out to the UK. Y'all niggas out there doing numbers. He said something that was very interesting, and it resonated with me. He said, when you grow up, and it made sense. When you grow up, I don't think he said it. Somebody else said it, but I'm going to say it differently, right? When you grow up in a single mother household, the rule book's a little different. You know, in a lot of ways, you can get away with doing more shit because you don't have a man to truly discipline you. You don't have a father there to shake you the fuck up and tell you to stop what the fuck you doing, and will tell you to pump your fucking brakes. So a lot of us grew up in those households. So we grew up being wild, reckless, class clowns, distractive. I was all of that. They had me on Ritalin, Adderall. This was in like elementary school / middle school. Then eventually I had to stop taking it. Then I realized, like, yo, and I think this is just my case. I feel that in a lot of ways I do have attention deficit disorder, and I take that matter very seriously. I don't take medication for it, but at the same time, just from my learning experiences, I never looked at it as a learning experience. There was just shit I wanted to pay attention to and shit that I didn't care about. Fuck. Now I was hyperactive. That shit's gone. I used to be. In a lot of ways, I think it goes with the ADD. Sorry, I'm smoking on this Zaza. Smoking on some fire right now. Fuck legalizing. I'm smoking it regardless. Decriminalize it. You heard it here. The PSA. Jersey Judah, host of the Red Pill Party podcast, speaker of modern day, or not even modern day. I'm bugging. What the fuck am I talking about? New age traditionalism. Okay. Fuck legalizing it. Decriminalize it. Give me I don't even want to fine. I don't even want to see a cop. Like, leave me alone. I don't like police officers. Now, that's not to say that I hate police officers. I don't generally hate anybody. I would have to truly know somebody in order to truly hate somebody. I try not to use that word because I know it's a very powerful word. Love is a powerful word, but since it's overused and since there's no sincerity, and for a lot of women, I consider love for women to just be an emotion. They can feel it 1 minute, and then they can tell you you're a piece of shit the next minute, and that they want to see other people. Elimination. But personally, like I said, my ADD is already acting up. Like, that shit, it doesn't affect me, but like, I've been trying to use the ADD and ADHD excuse to get weed for like the past 5 years now. I've been doing it secretly. I figure if I can do it now, be my best time. Be able to score some A1 chronic. I got this shit in my medical history. I tell a lot of people just because I don't take the matter lightly, because I'm someone who quote unquote suffered from it. But the only thing that I suffered from was the criticism from other people who didn't know who the fuck I was, and other people who just wanted to put me on medication. Okay? Message. Stop drugging these fucking kids. They had I don't know if she had epilepsy, or if she had something else. She had some type of neurological disease. I forgot what it was, but they gave her some weed and shit, and she was just sitting there calm. It was just high as fuck for like 40 fucking minutes. It's just funny, like, our country is corrupted, bro. Like, I'm not afraid to say that. I'm not ashamed of wearing this bandana. Shit, I like the American flag. I think it's a cool ass flag. Feel me? Even as a kid, like, when I was watching, I would watch like army movies and military movies, and when I seen the troops coming through with the red, white, and blue, I like America. Do I love America? Sure, I'll say that. Bitch, I don't want to be in Africa. Why am I a bad person for saying that? Okay, I feel bad for my ancestors because I'll talk about that in another time. I have a bloodline of very interesting mixture in my bloodline. So I have a lot of folks to be honest, a lot of older ancestral beings that were in Europe. I also have ancestral beings that created this country, that built this country, the fucking natives of this country, right? And I'm proud of those things. Now, the next person would probably say, well, you bugging. You saying you love the country. We in turmoil. White supremacy this. Social injustice this. Black Lives Matter that. And I got something cooked up for the podcast later on tonight. We're going to incorporate a lot of the fuckery. A fellow melanated man pointing out the fuckery in Black Lives Matter. But this was shit off from the beginning. It's funny. It is interesting to see, though, because certain niggas that you would never expect became conservative. That's all it took for them. Okay, so this is the black group organization that's supposed to represent all of us. But if I tell them I'm a Trump supporter, or if I tell them I'm a conservative, I'm public enemy number one. You try to have conversations with these counterfeit red, black, and green niggas. You start asking the real questions about what's being done in the community since these niggas been resurrected, and all of a sudden you a coon and a sellout. We got 3 baddies. I know these are teachers. Jeez, look at these whores, dude. Smoothies. Sorry, I didn't mean to say whores. Smoothies. Smoothies. You can tell how certain women. Oh wow, that one in the back, she got a nice one. See, guys, women know that guys are essentially perverts. We don't see guys like me personally. I don't care. Like, whether I was MGTOW, I could be Ibmore in a lot of ways, and I do feel I'm very introspective in a lot of ways because I incorporate a lot of the pain and a lot of the problems that I had in the past to bring a message to the entire canvas that I'm painting. This is like a canvas. This is like freestyle art. It's like freestyle art right now. Blank canvas and just a bunch of words. Some meaningful, others, I would organize this a lot more, but since this is a live, I might as well just do it on the fly anyway. You know what I mean? Keep it pushing. I figure I'll do something. I'll try to do something every 2 weeks. At the most, like, to be honest, the more realistic approach will be like once a month. It's very hard. I forgot how to tag certain topics. I forgot how to do all that. I'm an old man now. I mean, like, I don't know how to do all that shit anymore. Tag, manosphere or something. I don't know. Try to reach the audience. I know this is going to be a rough climb. The transition that I'm making, like financially and shit like that, is lovely. I can just look back to the last videos that I was doing, even in my car back in those days. I was in a dark space, guys. I was in a real dark space. I don't know what it is, but like, there was always a point to where I knew that I had no other option. And it was almost something, it was a sad moment, but it was also like, what word am I looking for? It was a fulfilling, saddened moment. because I knew everything that I was doing beforehand was ass backwards. And in order for me to make some changes, not just to change, to make certain changes, I had to change my environment. I had to change certain activities I was doing, being around certain people. Then it became a solo campaign. It became a solo RPG campaign where it was just about what I needed to do and how I could level up in one way, shape, or form, whether it's this video or it's the podcast that I do tonight, some way that I can level up, some way that I can talk about the red pill in a different perspective, but still keep the raw, real intensity. Of course, here I can't be as vulgar as I am on the podcast. And since that shit is on Spotify, I may have to tone a lot of the things that I do there down as well, but I don't give a shit. Meaning, like, I'm not doing it so that more people can see it. I'm not doing it because I don't want the BS. I don't want the problems. I don't want to have the channel deleted, get doxxed, or just have a bunch of scumbags. Like, I don't want to deal with that. I just want to come in, say what I need to say, and keep it pushing. Because I'm just like everybody else. I get up, I shit, shower, and shave. I bullshit, I fuck around. I might play video games. I might podcast. I might do some research on another episode that I'm going to do. You know what I mean? I'm just, like with most people, we kind of just go through the motion. And like, I was watching something this morning that was like pretty disturbing. I'm not going to lie. I decided to wake up. Well, I had to urinate, and it was about 5 a.m. And I can tell it was pretty much 5 because there was enough light to where you can see the sun sort of peeking out. You know, if you've been up or if you had to work in the morning, you understand what I mean. By like waking up and looking out the window, you can tell what time it is, essentially, or at least a ballpark estimate. So I get up, take a piss, I lay back down, try and go to sleep, can't sleep. So I'm like, all right. I got my laptop already charging next to me. Go on my laptop. Go on YouTube. And I forgot the video. I forgot the actual video, but they were showing these disturbing games that were banned. And one game that was actually, if you think about it, compared to all the other games, if you looked at this video, it's the least disturbing shit. But it's actually, in a thought-provoking way, it's the most disturbing game I've ever seen. It's a game where you're an old lady, okay? You're an old lady. And what you do in the game is you just walk. Walk forward, continue to walk. Constantly walking. They just show the scenery change. All right, you're walking in a parking lot. They show you, all right, you're walking through a museum. All right, you're walking across the street. You're walking across the grocery store. And then all of a sudden, there's a bench. And if you sit down on the bench as this old lady, you'll die. And it'll just show her. And it's like for 5 minutes, it just shows that. And it just shows, it's like the most disturbing shit. Because to me, it was kind of just a representation of life. Like we're all just, in a way, we're all like living in a simulation. When you work and you kind of do the same shit day in and day out, or you have the same routine of doing the same shit day in and day out, it's like just it's another simulation. It's like a lot of us, we can work with only 3 hours of sleep. You know, we're fortunate. I'm putting myself in the category where I have a job that I make a good sum of money in, that people wouldn't even expect. Like, the fuck? Yeah. I make a good amount of money where I don't have to do a lot of work. A lot of the work that I do maybe, I would say, a solid 2 to 3 hours of actual work. Otherwise, I would consider it just preparation for the following day. That's how I look at it. But we're all programmed in a sense. We learn a skill, so we're programmed in that skill for going through what is called a program for that skill. Okay? So we essentially become our trades. And like I've said this on the podcast to a lot of women now. We've been objectified by a lot of women. So our value is what their core interest is our value. Their core interest was our value. Core interest. Your looks, sure, that's the shell. The shell of a man is his looks. Now, it's more organic than women because women need the makeup in order to obtain those looks. Man doesn't have that issue. But the value is different. With value for a man comes expectations for the woman. Let me stop fucking with y'all. Hold up. Let me stop fucking with y'all. Hold up. With value from a man comes expectations from the women. Meaning, whatever you bring to the table, it has to be enough for the woman. Simple mathematics. You know, that's like a 2 times 2 equals 4 routine. You know what I mean? Because in most relationships and marriages, there's a saying a lot of women have. What I make is mine, and what you make is mine. That attitude, and you would think, and it's funny because you can tell guys are the monogamous ones, or you can tell the guys are actually the most committed ones. When the divorce rates are like 70 to 80% women filing, and guys are just willing to sign their lives away and tolerate these type of women. But going back to like the simulation shit, it's weird and it's disturbing to think about, because now you realize in a way that you are essentially, unless you have other skills, other trades, other talents, you are only essentially useful for one thing. And I'm not saying this in a negative way, but that's your bread and butter. That's your bread and butter. So you're going to look at a job that you worked for the past 5 years different than the job you worked for the past 5 months. Now, I've only been where I'm at for the past 5 months, but I've already explained. I think I jumped up like a good sum, like 12 G's from what I was making last year annually. Additional 12 G's. Now, to some people, that's not a lot at all. Oh, that's nothing. But like I said, I'm an everyday nigga. I'm not on here on YouTube slanging red pills like that. I can't do that on YouTube. They'll jail me. You know what I mean? Those people will come after me. You know what I mean? Those particular people. I don't want them coming after me. So, gonna put that whole thing aside, that whole operation. Operation Crimson Capsule, we're gonna put on hold for a bit. I'm not trying to be another nigga that jumps on here and gets fried these motherfuckers get me out of here as soon as possible. As soon as I mention that F word, as soon as I mention that, it's a done deal. So I have to be careful. Like I said, I got to come up with names. You already know the modern day s'more. The modern day s'more out here is just running reckless, doing what she does best. Being comfortable in her environment.
She belongs to the streets.
One more time.
She belongs to the streets.
Anyway, get ready to wind down. It's actually a little past noon. I got roughly an hour and 30 minutes to get ready to go to this job, do my 8 and hit the gate. It should be a quiet night tonight, but who knows? I have to be in the building once again tomorrow morning anyway at 9 a.m. And not too excited about that because technically I have to be there at 8:45, not just 9 a.m. I have to be there by 9 a.m., but I should be there before because I have to set up a couple of things in this particular building. But it's extra money, so I can't really complain. Fuck do I care. Certain sacrifices need to be made. And I guess this is going to be my final thought before I wrap this up. Jerry Springer can do it, so can I. Sacrifices have to be made in order for you to truly realize what you are capable of. Any career path you take, if you have the same people around you who aren't really in tune with what you have going on, they're not going to understand it. And some of them niggas, to be honest, they don't give a fuck. It's not until you make progress to where they start paying attention. And I think at that point, it's up to you to make that decision of, all right, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to give you some game. Or you say, nah, you wasn't there from the beginning, so I'd rather not have you here now either. That's just how life works. Like I said, you can't be a revolving door to women, to men. You can't be a revolving door to anybody, including family. You can't. Because then you start questioning, you'll automatically question their intentions. When a motherfucker only shows up when he has nothing, that's when they show up. But when they have something, you won't even be you'll be out of sight, out of mind. So you kind of have to have that same mentality today. It's fucked up, but it's the best way to go, especially if you have a purpose. Because like I said, if you're working, if you're getting things done, if you're doing certain hobbies and things you love to do on the side, it becomes more livable. You can maintain as a man without a woman. These women lose their minds on a day-to-day basis, 35 to 40 years old, completely washed. I would say 30 and up, but we're not even going to go talk about The Wall anytime soon. Not yet. This is more just like an update. If people like this small live that I have, the podcast is available. I am doing an episode tonight. It will be a Freestyle Friday, but I have several video responses. I typically do video responses on the podcast. I know that sounds weird, but let me explain. See, certain things you don't need to see to actually understand. So if there's clips that I can use, I'll use that, incorporate it, fair use, and shout out the content creator. I tend to do more raw things there. I tend to talk about more raw topics. I figure I'll do something on YouTube because I haven't done anything on here in a while. And my shit appears to be dying at this point. What is it on? 16%. So with that being said, it's another day. In the meantime and in between time, Jersey Judah, New Age Traditionalism, signing out. Peace.